Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. Today we're going to look at the predictions that some of the haters have said about Teslas in previous years. Specifically, we're going to look at Jim Chanos and Bob Lutz and what they predicted a couple of years ago when they said that Tesla had no advantages, no technology advantages, no battery advantages, nothing whatsoever, and the big boys were coming. And they're going to have cheaper cars, better performance, faster speed, everything. Tesla is doomed. So was Jim Chanos and Bob Lutz right about the future because the big boys has come out with their electric vehicle? Or were they just full of it? Well, let's check it out. Alright, so first of all, let's hear what Jim Chanos and Bob Lutz actually said.
Porsche's coming.
How expensive? Sorry.
Hold on, say that again. You think
Porsche's coming.
With their own car.
Porsche's coming with the Mission E, and
So is Jaguar with the I-Pace.
and so is Audi with the E-Tron, and these are amazing looking cars. And what Tesla did was made EVs sexy. Mm-hmm. And I've always said that. Elon got the Model S out.
Electric vehicles.
Right, electric vehicles. But the Model S is 7 years old. And now the big boys are coming. And they're coming with sexy looking cars at the same price point with better features, faster cars, great styling. And so what was unique for Tesla is no longer unique.
Okay, so, but then the question is when...
What's happening is what I have predicted for the last 3 years is finally coming to pass. Is everybody in the global automobile industry is going to be offering high quality, high technology, high range electric vehicles, and the Tesla has no advantage, no technological advantage, no software advantage, no battery advantage, no advantages whatsoever.
Yeah, so no advantages whatsoever. So all the new electronic vehicle that's coming out right now should be cheaper and better in every way compared to the Tesla Model S. As Jim Chanos says, the 7 years old Tesla Model S. So let's start with the Audi E-Tron. The Audi E-Tron has 410 kilometers of range. The Tesla Model S has 610 kilometers of range, or 590 kilometers range depending on the model. But let's just go with the lowest one, 590, still not even close to the Tesla Model S. The 0 to 100 kilometers an hour the Audi E-Tron does in 5.7 seconds. The Tesla Model S does that in 2.6, not even close. And the top speed of the Audi is 200 kilometers, and the Tesla Model S have a top speed of 261. So, yeah, when you look at the specs, not even close. So let's take the next one. The Mercedes QEC has a range of 470 kilometers. Yeah, pretty much the same as the Audi. The 0 to 100 kilometers is 5.1. Top speed, even less, 180 kilometers. The Mercedes does look a bit cheaper on the price tag from the price, but there's different versions of it, and you have 7 PDF pages of add-on prices for this car. So it can end up being really expensive. Typical Mercedes thing to do, strap them down. You want all the great Mercedes stuff, you really have to pay for it. But anyways, let's take the Jaguar I-Pace. I generally think this is a great car, but can it match or beat the Tesla Model S? It has a range, the best range, the highest range you can get in a Jaguar I-Pace is 470 kilometers. So not even close there. The 0 to 100 is 4.8 seconds. Decent, pretty good acceleration. That's still a very fun car to drive, but not even close to the 2.6 seconds for the Tesla Model S, and has a top speed of 200 kilometers, and that is quite an expensive car as well. So the price tag is pretty good. Say similar to the Tesla Model S and all the other guys here. So these guys really don't match up to the Tesla Model S. But then there is the Porsche Taycan. Started off 5 years ago, the Porsche Mission E. And they have been building this car for 5 years, and the mission was to build the best performance electric vehicle on the planet. So what did we get? It's not 100% out yet. It's going to be out in a couple of months. But the guys from Fully Charged had the first test drive in it, and we got some specs there, and you can also find stuff on their homepage about it. So it's quite expensive. So it's the most expensive car on this list, but it has a range of 400 to 500 is what Porsche says on the homepage. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say 450. So decent range, but not really close to the Tesla Model S. It has a 0 to 100 Porsche Taycan, 3.5 seconds. Not really Tesla Model S territory, and the top speed is 250. This is a great car. Hands down, you'll be impressed if you get into this car. I would have loved Porsche to come out with the concept car they showed 5 years ago. That looked just so futuristic and cool. The version they come out with is not that cool looking. Still looks great, still a Porsche. The numbers are still great, but they're not beating the Tesla Model S. Actually, you can get the Tesla Model 3 performance for over half the price, and it still beats the Porsche Taycan on every count. And that's actually the deal with these cars. There's nobody close to the Tesla Model S, and nobody of these cars is actually beating the Tesla Model 3 performance car. The Jaguar I-Pace and Mercedes, they're not even beating the Tesla Model 3 long range. Well, actually I have a hard time keeping up with the Tesla standard range. So yeah, the technology, if they're so much better as Jim Chanos and Bob Lutz have been saying, they should come out with like a car that can beat Tesla, and they are simply falling short. I think the Tesla Model 3 is really the iPod moment, the iPhone moment, but I think it's actually going to be even greater, because the iPod was the best MP3 player on the market, but you also paid top dollars for that MP3 player. People laughed at Apple when they came out with the iPhone and it was $499. Like, who would buy a phone for $499? Yeah, a lot did. And Nokia didn't laugh 10 years later. In fact, they didn't say anything at all because they went bankrupt. But the Tesla Model 3 actually has something that the Apple product of their time did not have, because they were the product to buy. The iPod was so good and ahead of anybody else that I knew people that hated Apple that still carried an iPod in their pocket and had iTunes on their PC. So they were owning that market. Like 70% of the MP3 market, that was Apple. But they were still probably the most expensive device out there. But if you look at Audi E-Tron, Mercedes, Jaguar, Porsche Taycan, they all up in the price range of Model S territory. But the Tesla Model 3 is much, much cheaper, but better performance. You have the iPod, but it's like half the price of the iPod, if you know what I mean. It is the best product on the market, but for a very affordable price. The iPod, the iPhone didn't have these advantages. They were just like one of the best products on the market, and you had to pay top dollar for it. So in my opinion, this is going to be even a bigger aha moment in history, like the iPod or the iPhone, and here comes the Model 3 Area. Because when I look at these specs and price tags, it's like, I don't even understand if anybody is buying the Audi E-Tron. I'm not saying that Audi E-Tron is a bad car. It looks really good, and it's an Audi. You know, it's well built. It's a great car. It just doesn't have the range or the specs as a Tesla has. And if you buy a Tesla Model 3 instead of an Audi E-Tron, you'd save like 250,000 Danish crowns compared to the Audi E-Tron, and you get a fast acceleration, faster top speed, and much longer range. And you have one of the safest cars in the world, and you get software updates over the air. Your car will get better over time. It doesn't matter if they fixed and solve all the self-driving in a year or 5 years. In 5 years' time, if that's when they make the self-driving car, my car, the Tesla Model 3, is gonna drive itself. If you buy the e-tron right now, and in 5 years' time you can buy an Audi that drives itself, you have to buy a whole new Audi. So I have a hard time looking at the specs and the price tags and saying, who would buy any of these? It's like they have to be die-hard Audi fans and Mercedes fans and Jaguar fans, and it's not like they're bad cars, and people probably just want like, oh, I'm driving a Jaguar, so that's great, that's cool, but I'm not thinking they're stealing anything from Tesla, because these cars are not selling that many, and the Tesla Model 3 is still just the Tesla Model 3 is still just going up like a rocket right now. They are selling like cupcakes. They're selling as fast as they can produce the cars right now, and they are just about, in the end of this year, open the Gigafactory in China. The Model Y is coming next year, and probably the Tesla Roadster is supposed to come next year. And when you think about Tesla, the Porsche has been working on this Porsche Taycan for 5 years, and this is the car they come up with. It's a great car. Nice performance, but when the Roadster gonna come out, it's gonna look like an e-scooter or something like that. It's not gonna be very impressive when the Tesla Roadster come out and have over 400 kilometers an hour speed compared to 250 on the Porsche Taycan. Do 0 to 100 kilometers in 2 seconds, have a range of 1,000 kilometers. It is just going to be like, this is the car to beat if you are electric or gasoline. It doesn't matter. This car is going to be insane, and it's going to make even the best performance car we have right now of electric vehicles look like a Sunday drive, you know, like a Hyundai Kona. But I actually think the Hyundai Kona is a great little car. They are actually selling one for 300,000 Danish crowns. And it has just as good as a range as all the other cars here, like 450 kilometers. It doesn't have really the nicest top speed, 167, but most countries don't allow to drive that, so that's going to be enough for most people. And it has a decent acceleration, 7.6 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour. I think they should actually focus a little bit on this, because I think Hyundai Kona, if they can get the range just above 500 and the price a little bit down, they're really going to have a car for the masses. They're not going to beat the Tesla Model S or Tesla Model 3, but they're pretty much not even trying. This is not a luxury, high-performance car. This is a car for the masses, and I think that's the way to go right now, because right now, Tesla Model 3 is pretty much the king of the electric vehicle, and I understand why. It is a very good car, and nobody is catching up to it, not even on the price tag. So Jim Chanos and Bob Lutz, yeah, they were very, very wrong. So I think we're going to have a new iPhone moment with the Tesla Model 3, but I think it's going to be even bigger, because this is not just a car. It is, they are in the computer business, the software business, the energy business, solar panels, solar roof tiles and battery storage and all this great stuff. Tesla has the potential to be become one of the biggest companies on the planet. And I think they're gonna be hard to beat right now. When Audi and all these big guys comes out and not even close to beating, it's gonna be feeling kind of a defeat. If I was the CEO of Audi, I would not come out with an electric vehicle of a high-end luxury unless it could match the Tesla Model S, and it can't even match the Tesla Model 3. So yeah, I think we are looking for a bright future for Tesla, and they're going to be some of the biggest company out there, and yeah, it's going to be fun to see if anybody can catch up to even the Tesla Model 3. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps out a lot here in YouTube land. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.